Howdy failers, hope y'all are having a nice day today. Today's video is going to be a little different. It's going to be a tier list. And it is going to be a tier list of all the DLC Remembrance bosses' weapons. Now, I have a lot of experience with this because I recently beat all the DLC bosses with their own weapons. Also, for the first 8 hours of gameplay, I was intoxicated due to a challenge where I had to drink every time I died. Google and logo, we got one more. That's probably good. Chill the fuck out, Jack. If you want to check out that video, it's on my YouTube channel. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with my tier list. If you agree with my tier list, drop a sub to the channel. And if you disagree with my tier list, drop a sub to the channel. Let's do it. Okay, so first we're going to talk about Dancing Lion. Dancing Lion's Remembrance is either a talisman or an Ash of War, therefore not a weapon, therefore S tier. I'm just kidding, the talisman and the Ash of War are kind of stupid. Up next, we have the weapon drop from the Putrescent Knight's Remembrance. I'm not like a physicist or anything, man, but I'm telling you, if you had a, if I was able to actually hold this sword like this with it curved that far away from me and all the weight being on that side, I would have the strongest rotator cuff muscles in the fucking world, man. Yeah, I really don't like how this weapon looks. So that kind of docks some points on it, but honestly, it's not a terrible weapon. It's a colossal weapon. It's pretty heavy, pretty slow, but it actually procs frostbite, which, you know, against this guy is pretty effing useless. But on other enemies, it's good. The Ash of War on it is kind of cool, actually. And because of that, I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. Up next, we're going to talk about Commander Gaius's weapon. This freaking weapon is so slow. The only positive thing about it is that it does piercing damage, which is the best damage type in the game. It is just very slow. I mean, look at the charge up on this heavy attack. Also, the Ash of War is really cool looking, but it is just terrible. Well, that's absolutely fucking terrible. And for that, you will sit behind the cartoonish Great Axe. Oh god, not this weapon. I'll just show you guys a clip from one of my past videos to explain how I feel about this weapon. You can suck my literal ass, Romina, Saint of the Bud, and your shitty fucking weapon. This weapon is ass. This is the stubbiest, chodiest halberd I've ever seen in my life. This thing looks like it's freaking 6 feet long. It's literally less than 2 in real life. Holy fuck. And I know you guys are in the comments like, oh, Jago, does Scarlet Rot build up? Well, from my experience against Romina, who literally I'm pretty sure is immune to Scarlet Rot, it was terrible. Don't worry. I've used this weapon on other bosses other than Romina as well. And yeah, the Scarlet Rot buildup just never happens. I've never seen a proc Scarlet Rot once! Next up, we have the Lord of Frenzy Flame, Midra's Remembrance weapon. This weapon is... it's good. It's got a piercing charged heavy attack. It looks cool. It's from a dope-ass boss. And the Ash of War is one of the coolest in the game. And the Ash of War is a direct counter to NPC fights. Yeah, this weapon is S tier. Up next is the weapon drop from Matir, the mother of fingering. I mean, finger... I got fucking finger! So I really want to like this weapon, but I just can't. It's not bad by any means. It's not bad at all. And it's actually got a lot of poise damage. It's able to stun this boss in 2 charged heavy attacks. The Ash of War was also good in this fight because it's got an AoE that helped deal with the Trump hands. See if I can get an Ash of War up here just for fun. I can, but that was completely and utterly useless. I would never do that again. Looking back at it, it's definitely better than I remember. So we are going to put it in a very respectable A tier. Now we're going to get to Mesmer's Remembrance weapon. There is one thing that holds this weapon back more than anything, and that is the fact that the charge R2 is absolutely dreadful. It is so bad. And the other thing that I've noticed is that since it's like a bigger throwing weapon, it's got a huge arc, so it doesn't even go that far. And especially on a target like Mesmer, when he moves around a lot, it's actually pretty hard to hit him at range, so the throwing aspect is completely just completely useless in this fight. Also, the Ash of War is just a PvP player's wet dream. Dope boss, dope idea, terrible execution. The only reason this weapon goes from a D tier to a C tier is because it's unique in the sense that it is a throwing weapon, and it's the only Remembrance weapon that is, so I'll give it credit for that. And now we're moving on to Rolana's Twin Blades. And this weapon is good. It's got a very versatile moveset. You have the stance, which you can use the blue projectiles for long range, or you can use the red flame for close range. The blue magic attacks kind of suck in the stance because they don't reach very far in actuality. But man, the fire move out of the stance is one of the coolest, and it actually does a crap load of poise damage, and normal damage too.
Oh my goodness, the damage! Did y'all see that? Holy crap.
Not only all that, but it's also just one of the coolest weapons, honestly. Like, did y'all see that? That's freaking, this weapon is sick. The only major downside I can think of with this weapon is that you have to split your stats into 4. I believe it's strength, dex, faith, and intelligence, which can be pretty hard if you want to use any other weapon without respeccing, but you know, it is what it is. This weapon is super satisfying to use. The only drawback, like I said, is the fact that the damage is split into 4 different stats. But other than that, it's a great weapon, and I'm gonna put it into A tier. I fucking hate this boss.
Alright, let's do this. Freaking hate this boss. I don't want to do this.
And now we're on to the little flower. Trying to beat up a big flower with a little flower was a giant pain in my ass. This weapon is split into physical and holy damage, and we all know that holy damage is the worst damage type in the game because 99% of all bosses in this game have like 99% holy resistance. Not only that, but when you fight this boss, you want to try to hit it in the head, and it's really hard to hit in the head when you have this really slow ass baby flower in your hands. And I genuinely think there's a little bit of a bug where if you try and do a jump attack with this weapon, you have to delay the attack or else it doesn't come out, because this happened a lot during my playthrough and it felt super awkward.
I literally had no fucking stamina to punish him, so... Like, dude, like, I
actually had plenty of stamina left in that clip. This weapon's it's just awkward. Like when you're walking on the sidewalk and someone going the opposite way of you tries to go around you to the right, and then you go to your left, and then they go to their left, and you go to your right, and it just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. Last and least, we have Radahn's Remembrance weapon. He's got 2 of them for some reason. They have the same amount of damage each for some reason. But the Ashes of War are different, which is kind of cool, I guess. It would be cool if these weapons weren't garbage by themselves. These swords actually work pretty well in this fight for only one reason.
See, like, I don't know what's better, Oh, that's actually mad useful. Because we crouch down, we actually avoid some of the attacks. It's actually mad useful.
Here's the thing though, this is only good because the recovery animation is so slow. I guess that's kind of the compensation for the slow recovery animation, is that his hitbox gets smaller when you crouch down for the right bumper attack. Also, these weapons just don't do that much damage. You would think hitting with dual wielding colossal swords would do a lot of damage, maybe even twice the amount of a regular one. Nope, not even close. Is this a little biased because we are facing Radahn, the hardest boss in the game? Maybe. But also, I cannot see these weapons being good on any boss in this game. The only reason I was able to beat Radahn with these weapons is because I used the deflecting hard tier. And if you guys know anything about me and the deflecting hard tier, it is my favorite thing in the game, and it is the easiest thing to use in my opinion. If y'all are ever struggling with a boss, F the Mimic, just use deflecting hard tier. Also, this weapon was kind of just a disappointment. Trust me, I love this fight as much as the next guy. It is probably my favorite boss fight in the game, next to Melania, just because of the difficulty level. It definitely met everybody's expectations when it came to difficulty and epicness for the final fight of the DLC. Still should have been Godwin though. We were all expecting it to be up here. We really were. But in actuality, these weapons actually go more so down here. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this ranking and if you change anything around. And then after that, you should come back up here and click on this video because that'd be a cool thing to do.